The Simpsons. Hey everybody, how's it going? Hello. I'm here to do another one of these where I talk about the newest episode of The Simpsons and explain to you why it's a big old piece of poop. Thank you for the feedback on the first one, everyone who did feedbacking. I appreciate it. Most people seemed alright with it, seemed to enjoy it overall. A few people did not appreciate the fact that it was it's all improvid, which it's just me kind of rambling off the top of my head. Maybe you can tell right now that that's what's happening. Um, Tough nuts. I just listen. Here's I'm gonna meet you halfway. I'm gonna one person made this suggestion. I think just one of you said, "What if I did like a Simpsons radio play instead of animating the episode, so to speak, animating, quote unquote? I would just do the voices and kind of explain the plot to you in a radio play fashion, and that's something I've actually considered in the past. So that's what we're gonna try. We're gonna try to give it a little more structure here by doing first of all a wee intro as we're doing here now, although in the future these should be shorter because I'll have less to explain. And then I've written a summary, like I do basically with the Simpsons, and I am going to perform that for you. It's not going to be exactly like the Simpsons because the Simpsons is, pristinely edited, and I cut out all the bloopers and, well, not all of them, but I'm mostly going to just do it in one go here, and if I fuck up, I mean, lucky for you, I am immaculate and a flawless human being, so not too worried. Anyway, I'll do it the same way. I'm gonna skip the stuff that's not inessential to the plot. Then the idea will be that will be the first section, and then the second section of every podcast will be criticism, and the criticism is gonna be like what I did before, where I am just gonna fucking spout bullshit at you, and that's gonna be improv. I mean, I took notes, but I'm not gonna write down all my criticism. I mean, somebody told me on air, do a script. That ain't happening. I'm not doing a full script. Psh, come on. I'm just gonna keep shitting out this lazy ass content on yous. Also, something I want to say about the improv stuff. To me, when people say that they like when I get angry about stuff, with The Simpsons, I have to write that stuff down. I have to write down, like, here's me getting angry. And frankly, as it goes on, with The Simpsons, that starts to feel less and less real to me. It's labored and hackneyed, and I don't believe myself when I'm screaming about that stuff. So when I don't have it written down and I get angry, it's coming from my furious, fiery heart. So in my mind, criticizing sort of off the top of my head, it's better, but that's just what I think. Someone did suggest I could change the image a few times. Last time it was just a still image for the entire video. I'm fine with that. I'll take a few screen grabs from the episode to make it a little clearer what's going on. But I do want this to stand alone more as an audio thing, because of the notion that perchance eventually I'll put it on SoundCloud or something else. I don't know. You're welcome to. I feel like this is something to ask in a later date, but somebody said SoundCloud, but I know there's like a million places to host podcasty type things. So feel free to chime in on what you like the best, and if you would like it on another place. As of right now, still just on YouTube. The images will change periodically to show what I'm talking about, but I'm not going to go crazy on it, so I still don't want you to feel like you have to watch this and see it as a video. You should be able to look away to, cats doing stuff on the web, or Sonic, fellatio, which I believe are the top 2 Google searches. But there will be some images. I'm not gonna edit that much in, because once I start writing little summaries and editing loads of images in, I know what's happening there. You're just making me make new Simpsons. You're not gonna fucking trick me, you chuckles. You crafty little... Ooh, you guys. Anyway, and then so the third part, so it'll be, radio play, criticism, and then at the end I'm gonna do like news, which is about me, because I don't really, there's nowhere I really keep people up to date on what the fuck I'm doing. And that seems to be what people usually, they put that in their podcast somewhere. So I'm gonna do that. I'll put news, about the Simpsons, about this particular podcasting series, this channel, YouTube channel in general, and then the other bullshit I'm doing, in case you're at all interested in it, because I do other stuff that's not all Simpsons related. I know that, nobody likes other things, but hey, if you ever change your mind, that's it, I think. And I might talk about, the Simpsons itself, if there's anything in the news going on, like Harry Shearer, strangling Al Jean to death or something. If that happens, I'll address that at the end of the show. My thought is always put the news at the end, because the people who just want the Simpsons-y stuff, that'll come right at the beginning, and then you can just shut it off if you don't want to hear me blather anymore. Isn't that great? How nice of me. So, alright, here's the summary! So this is season 27, episode 7. This episode is called Lisa with an S. Homer's at home getting ready to go out, and it's a musical number, but who cares about that? It's poker night. Don't lose all our money. Dad, I got accepted to the best band camp in the world or something, but it's expensive. So if you win lots of money, can I have it to go to the band camp? Okay. Then at the poker night is Moe, Lenny, Carl, Barney, and Lainey Fontaine, who is the character based on Elaine Stritch, who's been on the show twice now. Turns out Lainey Fontaine is here to play poker, and we're dating, even though the previous episode she was in implied she broke up with me. I'm Lainey Fontaine. I beat you at poker, Homer. Fucking piss. I lost $5,000. Then I guess it's the next day, and Homer's back at the bar. Fucking piss. You should invite Lainey to your home to see how poor you are, so she'll feel bad and won't collect the $5,000 from you. So then Lainey's having dinner at the Simpsons' house. Would you play a song for us? Yeah. I'm playing a song on the piano. I am accompanying on the sax. You're good at it, Lisa. Turns out I'm a huge fan of yours out of nowhere and own all your lousy records. Hey, my career is shit, and I need to invigorate it with a small child playing sax on stage. So if Lisa comes with me on tour for a month, I will forget about the 5,000 buckolas. For unclear reasons, I am instantly furious at this proposition. Get out of my house! I'm fucking crazy! It angers cubed! Or it angers squared. I don't know which is funnier. Up to you. Mom, it is my top dream. Can I please go on tour? Okay. So later they're on tour, and Marge and Bart Skype with Lisa. Oh, there's a lot of smoke around, it seems, and Lisa's only being supervised by 2 jazzmen. It continues to anger, and we are going to New York right now to bring Lisa home. Then there's a brief thing about Lainey having trouble remembering song lyrics, and the producer gets mad, and I guess they're trying to set up that Lainey is on the brink of being a has-been, but it's like really unclear and weird and not well done. Oh, it takes us a while to get to New York, 'cause the car breaks down and blah, blah, blah. It's fucking funny, I'm sure. Then they arrive at the theater just as the show is starting. Okay, we'll get Lisa back now. I am playing my sax solo, and it's real good and stuff. Oh, she's playing real nice, and everyone likes her, and it's good we let her follow her dreams. Yeah. Then after the show, it was great. She's been bitten by the showbiz bug. I'm Lainey, you have to remember, because this voice sucks. Okay, I guess we will let her go on the rest of the tour. Oh. I can tell Marge is upset, so Lisa, you're fired because you got a bigger standing ovation than me. You fucking bitch. That's a little bit of poetic license. Also turns out the rest of the shows were canceled anyway because I am a has-been.
It's okay, it's Mo here, and you still got me. And the episode ends with a montage of us having fun in New York, because apparently Lainey is the one whose feelings we were supposed to care about all along.
That's fucking it. That's it. Now for criticism. All right, yeah, criticism of this. It's real bad. It's really bad. It's one if I were a stronger man, uh, with more energy, I might have been doing a Simpsons for it. I don't know. It's not. I've been made angrier by episodes, to be sure. Um, I think the issue was the plot moves so fast that like I didn't have time to get angry. I was just getting my bearings on what the fuck was even happening. So weird. I one thing I should clarify. Somebody asked me on Grumbler of all places, what did I mean when I said the last episode wasn't too offensive? When I say offensive, I tend to mean like as a fan, I'm offended by either they did something to a character that is going completely against what the character used to be, or the storyline is just so fucking stupid that it's kind of insulting, or they do references to older episodes that piss me off, like this one when they went to New York, which by the way they went to fucking New York again, which like it sucks because that episode, like the first time they went to New York was maybe, I might argue, that was like the last easy to point to and go, this is like the good period, because that the rest of that season kind of but that season started with Homer versus New York, I believe it's called, and it's that's a good episode, and it was awesome because it like set Homer up as having this weird like relationship with hating New York, which is a unique character trait because everybody loves New York and everything, right? So it set this up, and now they just go back to New York, and it's like none of it matters anymore. Now New York's just a place they go sometimes. Bart made a joke about it. He was like, "We should get a house there. We go there so often." Oh, haha. Anyway, whatever. It's sort of funny. But so yeah, I just mean offensive like that. Oh, sorry, I got off, lost my train of thought. Yeah, one of the references, because again, new modern Simpsons is insistent on referencing older Simpsons in really lazy ways. Spider Pig has a show in New York, like yeah, they shot to like Broadway, and they show you what's playing on Broadway, and Spider Pig has a show is the joke. I forget the name of it already. Maybe I'll put the image up of it. I'll screen grab it. But fuck Spider Pig. Guess what? Spider Pig was never fucking funny. I never liked it. It wasn't funny in the movie. The movie's not very good, and Spider Pig, I don't. Duh. I don't like the Spider Pig song. I don't care. So stop mentioning Spider Pig. Stop showing Spider Pig in the show. I hate it. So yeah, the plot is just. They tried to set up a bunch of different things, and they did a really bad job. They tried to set up that this was Lisa's dream, which I guess I understand. Lisa does want to go on towards the saxophonist, but they tried to tie it in with like, oh, she's always been a fan of this Lainey woman, which doesn't seem to add up because Lisa's like a fan of like classical jazz and shit, and this lady kind of seems to just do kind of, the joke is she does shitty renditions of like other people's music, Broadway song stuff. Doesn't seem like Lisa's thing exactly. But Lisa's her fan and has her fucking records, so that isn't set up well. And then Marge being suddenly angry, it's supposed to be, it's a fairly reasonable thing. Marge thinks, well, she shouldn't be going on tour with a showbiz person and being exposed to undesirables and so forth, and not nice people. But that's badly set up as well, because the way it's introduced is she just goes, will you take your daughter? Can I take your daughter on tour with me? And Marge is like, oh, get out of my house. I never want to see you again. And it's really fucking out of nowhere. So that's really lazily done, and that's not good either. And then you're also supposed to care, apparently, about Lainey's future as a performer, which they set up a tiny bit as well. They try to show you, oh, she can't remember words. But it's weird because they're trying to set it up as like, that's because she's failing as a performer. But it's like she can't remember, it's like lyrics that go like something Y up in the, and the word is sky, and the joke is like she can't remember easy words like sky. But the implication is it's just because she's getting shitty, when the words she's not remembering are implying maybe she's got early onset, not early onset, she's 80, she's supposed to be 80. But the implication is it seems more like she's got Alzheimer's. But they don't seem to be implying, oh, she's getting old and fucking dying. They seem to be implying, no, she's just like, she's losing the showbiz touch. It's super confused. So yeah, there are these three things. You're supposed to care about all of these things, I think. You're supposed to care about Marge, Lisa, and Lainey Fontaine, but none of their motivations are well established. They just kind of launch into them, and it's really random. Furthermore, Lainey Fontaine is the character who's based on Elaine Stritch, who died in 2014, and they've brought her back twice. They've had her twice in 2015. I think already. Yeah, they had her once in the previous season and once now, and that was it. And I think it's super weird. I mean, I'm not saying it's like wrong to base somebody on a dead person and then keep bringing them back. I'm not saying that's like disrespectful. And The Simpsons is, when it was good, what they've often done, either they bring back people, like they reference famous stars and it's for like a few one-off jokes, or they take like a quality of that person and they expand upon them and they make him into a great character. It's just, the problem is it's so closely related to Elaine Stritch, but they're not doing anything interesting with the character. So it does sort of seem in bad taste, because all the jokes are about like, oh, her career is like deliberately fucking up songs a little bit and being kind of shitty at her job and too old. Like, she's kind of old and sloppy is like is the joke, which I guess is honoring Elaine, but it's just weird because I don't know, because Elaine Stritch is dead. And it's just, who are you honoring her? What are you doing? Like, and they seem to try to be making her stand as her own character, but she's not interesting enough for that to happen. So I really don't understand her inclusion. It's just odd to me, bringing her back twice. I mean, the first time they might have written her as a character, maybe Elaine Stritch hadn't died yet, because it takes a while for the production to happen. But by this point, I think she has died, and it's just odd to me. Somebody went, we got to get that character back. But then again, they brought back Zooey Deschanel's character like five. How many fucking times have they brought her back? She's awful. Anyway, and it's again weird that Mo is just dating her again, because the other time she was in that show, it was about how she broke up with him. So, the other things I will mention, yeah, I mean, it's a bad plot. Very early on, there's a quick, while Homer's playing poker, look in his head, and it's Inside Out, the Pixar movie, which fairly timely parody for The Simpsons, all things considered, but not good and not funny. And the characters in his head are played by different people from the town. Like Groundskeeper Willie is anger and Millhouse is fear, or whatever it is. I don't know what the name, nervousness. I don't think Inside Out's very good. I'm gonna level with you. I thought it was really average, and not very funny. Anyway, but it wasn't a good parody. It was stupid anyway. And at the end, one of the Inside Out characters in Homer's head is Comic Book Guy, and Comic Book Guy says, "Worst jammed in movie parody ever," which is the hilarious way to acknowledge you've not done something funny, is to say, haha, wasn't that not funny, and now that makes it okay. No, it doesn't. That's bad writing. Then Lenny, also another thing I wanted to, Lenny, when he's playing poker, the joke is he's wearing, I guess, sunglasses, so nobody can see his eyes when he's playing poker, and he's got earbuds in, listening to an audiobook on A Beginner's Guide to Playing Poker, which, first of all, doesn't, I'm pretty sure we've seen Lenny play poker many, many a time, so it's sort of a weird new idea to, like, Simpsons character traits don't really have to carry for some of the minor but like, it's still weird. He plays poker with Homer all the time, and suddenly Lenny doesn't know how to play poker. And then it's the before the first commercial break, they show the joke is that Lenny has not made a move the whole time in the poker game, because he has not known the poker game has been going on, because he's been wearing sunglasses and earbuds, which doesn't make sense, because what kind of glasses what sunglasses is he wearing that he can't see out? I don't... Doesn't make sense. And also, why did his friends not say, Lenny, it's your turn? Like, it's not a good joke. And he's so not focused on in the scene that you forget. He just shows up at the end, and it's like, the joke is, it goes like, you've now finished Beginner's Guide to Poker. And Lenny like, blah, blah, I'll put 2 on whatever. Like, so Lenny suddenly is now ready to play the poker game, but nobody's there anymore. Which, in a way, hilariously enough, is a really old joke from a really old, a good episode when they play poker at Lenny's house, I believe. And Homer's the one who's left there. Somebody insults him at a poker game, and then the joke is when they they zoom back out from Homer's head. He's the only one left, and it's in Lenny's house. And Lenny goes, "Boy, you're still here. You really are slow." And that's a better joke by a million miles. And then I left out this entire scene because, as I said, when I summarize things, I only keep in what's necessary. They tried to, like, build tension, but they did such a lazy job because Marge just suddenly decides we're going to go to New York and pick up Lisa. And it's so fucking sudden that then they have to kind of engineer a really quick, well, why does it take them a while? Like, they just need to give them scenes. I wouldn't have even questioned the idea that it takes them a while to get to New York, so that they show up right when Lisa's on stage. I wouldn't have even questioned it, but they suddenly had to engineer a, like, well, we need to give them scenes, and we need to make it seem like, they get there at the last minute. So it's basically like filling time is what it really felt like. It did not feel necessary to the plot. It just felt like time filler. But the reason they're late to get to New York is because their car breaks down in Amish country, and then they meet a Amish cousin of Flanders, and he tows them by horse and cart to New York. But like, so it's just like, how do we fill this time? Because then it's also in the middle of it, Homer has to stop to go to the bathroom, so they do a barn building scene. 'Tis a fine barn. But it's that they build Homer an outhouse so he can take a shit. And then they to delay it a little more, they have scenes of them, like, taking the subway to get to Lisa. So they're just, like, filling time up to go, like, well, what are we going to cut back and forth between Lisa doing her thing and we need other shit to cut to? So they just fill it with a bunch of crap. Yeah. And that's, I mean, it's just so sloppy. I don't know. I've been a lot angrier by shows because it was so, like, I looked at the running time, I think when they were in Amish country, and it was like over 10 minutes into it, and I was like, oh, this is almost over. So in that sense, I didn't have a terrible time because I could barely get my bearings, so I didn't think about it that much, so I couldn't get that angry. Yeah. Just a really poorly plotted episode. Oh, and I guess it's worth noting, I did not laugh. I think I laughed once in the entire episode. It was some joke where, I think it was Carl said something about seeing a commercial where a lady gave a thumbs up, and her thumbs up turned into money, and it filled the entire screen. And then Lenny goes, "The entire screen?" And I think that's all I laughed at. Nothing else. Very sadly, apparently the last episode that Sam Simon is going to be credited as an executive producer on, because he died of cancer. Sam Simon seemed like a really nice guy. He was a producer of a shitty show for a while, but beyond that, he loved animals very much, and gave a lot of money to charity for animals. Seems like a nice fella. This is the last show he's exec produced. His name is on it. I'm sure he would have loved it. So, yeah, I don't know. Piece of shit. Oh, what's my rating? I'm gonna give this one I don't know what the fuck was going on, out of stop making this show for the love of God. Hope that suffices. Cool news! So I'm not gonna talk about too much other shit this time. The next time I do this, my plan, next Sunday there's no new Simpsons. So my plan is to do an episode in which I kind of recap the episodes I missed, since I started this on episode 6 of the season. You've already had a beautiful, wonderful Simpsons for the season premiere. Might have been disappointing. I'd been touting that one as disappointing for ages, and I hope it lived up to that. But so I'm not really going to recap the first one because I know I barely recapped it this time, but that was my point. The plot didn't matter. When you do It's All a Dream, nothing fucking matters. They made a point of over and over saying none of this happened. It didn't matter. So fuck that episode. I'm not going to talk about that episode anymore. It's atrociously bad. Okay, I might talk about it a little bit, but I'm more going to recap episodes 2 through 5. I don't think it's going to be the way I did it this time, just because, I don't want to write little Simpsum-y type scripts for all of those. It's just because, I missed the boat on them. They already happened. It's too late. I don't have the energy. I'll do them as the new ones show up. But these, I'll just kind of briefly discuss all of them. And frankly, one of them was good. ish, good for modern Simpsons, and one was fine. So I'm gonna do that though, a recap. So yeah, next Sunday, recap of basically episodes 2 through 5, little discussion of all those. I think that's what I'm also gonna talk about, the Simpsons. I feel like I have to over enunciate on those two different terms because it's probably not that easy to tell. Simpsums, S-U-M-S. I am going to kind of talk about the supposed future of that more. I'm probably going to ramble a long while about my general feelings on The Simpsons because I feel like I want to. And on, what I feel like I'm going to be doing in the future with my YouTube channel on the whole. Again, I will leave it to the end. So if you don't care and you just want to hear me talk about The Simpsons and get angry at it, that's going to be in the beginning part. Easy peasy. And the only other thing I'll mention for now, I do mostly TV criticism. Occasionally I write about video games at denofgeek.us, not .com, but .us. And if this is of any interest to you, just because this is a thing that happened recently, I got to interview a while back Dan Harmon and Justin Roiland, who created Rick and Morty. That interview's been up there for quite some time. I interviewed them during season 2. This time I just recently, though, talked to Dan Harmon by himself on the phone for like 40 minutes. Which is kind of cool. And I think some little news bits about Rick and Morty and Community are going to go up pretty soon. I'm not going to pretend like they're big scoops. I know I'm supposed to pretend they are for the purposes of clickbait, but they're not. But if you are interested in the stuff Dan Harmon does at all, I was supposed to interview him about the Charlie Kaufman movie that his production company that he has with Dino Stamatopoulos, who played Starburns in Community and made Moral Oral. I was supposed to talk to him about the movie they're producing. It's the Charlie Kaufman script, Anomalisa, and I did talk about that, but then we just kind of talked about literally like everything he's doing. So if you want to see this giant fucking interview, which I have to transcribe, which is going to take years off my life, that will go up, I believe, December 7th. It's that week, at any rate. I will probably mention it again when it's coming, but if it sounds like anything you're interested in, the easy way to find it, or to find anything I do, on Den of Geek, is denofgeek.us/authors/Joe-Matar. It's the most recent thing I've done, and it was kind of cool. As always, I am happy to hear feedback on any of this. I am happy to hear about where you might want this to be other than YouTube. I am happy to take requests. People have always been requesting me to do older episodes for Simpsons. I'm sure you'd like me to leave some of those open as a possibility for Simpsons, so fine. But I'm much more open to talking about them like this, because it doesn't take that much time. But anyway, no rush on any of this stuff because the show's actually airing right now, and it'll probably be easier to do this kind of thing, in the summertime when the show is not on. And that's it for now. Thank you for listening. I am going to leave you with, if you wanted to hear, I'm going to leave you with an amazing behind-the-scenes Easter egg from that last Simpsons. Since I sped up like all the audio in that, I just thought it would be a fun little treat for you to just hear the stupid, rambling thing I recorded and then sped up at normal speed. I was saying stuff that sort of pertained to the actual episode, but then I was just kind of doing all the different voices and saying random bullshit. And I thought it'd be funny if you want to just hear what I was rambling. So here's that. And, Spider Pig sucks. Bye.
Oh, I'm going to sleep a lot. Oh, I'm a real pain in the ass.
Homer, you're being a real pain in the ass. I don't like it at all. Oh, I don't like it.
Dad, why would you be such a pain in the ass? I am glad Dad is being a pain in the ass. Yeah, I think it's cool too.
Oh, I don't like it. It angers. It angers. It angers. It angers.
It's me, I'm very stupid. It's me, I'm Homer, I'm stupid.
Oh, it's me, I'm Lena Dunham, and
We're gonna have sex. We're gonna have sex. It's me. I'm Lena Dunham. We're gonna have sex.
Wow, we did it.
I'm getting married again.
Let's go to the marriage counselor. Everything's a dream.
Oh, it was a dream. No, it wasn't. Yes, it was a dream. Oh.
Oh, it was my dream. It was my dream. Oh.
I'm Lena Dunham. Bye bye.